This is Liberation Day in DC, and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the DC Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to lose our cities over this. And this will go further. We're starting very strongly with DC, and we're going to clean it up real quick.
As you're, I'm sure, aware, Donald Trump followed up, literally years, but more recently, weeks of tweets and all that about how DC's a hellhole and I gotta save it and all that. And so he did this press conference where he announced that he was effectively seizing control of DC, and he cited a law saying, you know what it is. He hadn't, clearly, but he got his minions to find some excuse for him to do this. And over the course of that press conference, it became very clear that the situation was worse than we thought, evidently. In the Epstein files, for him to go to these lengths to take over DC, my God, what is in those things? Because the distractions are getting really big and really fast, okay? And so, yeah, they're directly taking over the Metropolitan Police. National Guard have been dispatched. Soldiers are coming in. The FBI is now roaming the streets of DC at night as if specifically to stop them from doing their job investigating the Epstein files. He's like, no, you gotta get out there. You gotta be like checking like the meters or something. And so that's what he's doing. Now, the press conference, as it always is with Donald Trump, was a massive mishmash of insanity. Here's a little bit of a catch up on it.
We're going to be removing homeless encampments from all over our parks, our beautiful, beautiful parks, which now a lot of people can't walk on. They're very dirty. And we're getting rid of the slums too. We have slums here, we're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums. You're gonna see police, or you're gonna see FBI agents. We're gonna have a lot of agents on the street. And you're gonna have a lot of essentially military, and we will bring in the military if it's needed, by the way. We're gonna have National Guard. The police are standing up there in uniform, they're standing, and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they can hit real hard. They're standing there and people are spitting in their face and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
That is, of course, not how the law actually works. But if the law doesn't matter anymore, which clearly in many ways in America in 2025 it does not, yeah, I guess the cops can just brutalize people if they feel like it. I mean, if the cop feels that they've been disrespected, and obviously cops have very high bars for feeling disrespected. They're not like exactly the sort of people that feel disrespected casually like 24/7, then they could just brutalize people. And Donald Trump is saying that, and Pam Bondi's standing behind him, pretending to believe that that's how the law works. Yeah, by the way, what I love about like being a member of the Trump administration is just every day you don't know what you're gonna wake up and have to pretend to have always believed. Like Pam Bondi a week ago was definitely thinking, yeah, we need the National Guard in the streets of DC. But now it's her job to come out and pretend that that is what she thinks now, and that's what she thought yesterday. And he says they'll bring in the full-on military if they have to. I mean, spoiler alert, they don't have to. They didn't even have to do what they're doing right now. They're just choosing to do it despite, as is abundantly clear, and we've done these fact checks. CNN was doing a live fact check as the press conference was going on. Violent crime is at a 30-year low. Homicides are down, sex abuse is down, assault with a dangerous weapon is down, robberies are down big time just in the last year. And this is a trend that we've been seeing in DC and these other places, that he would try to convince his base who've never been to Baltimore, they've never been to Oakland, they don't know these places any more than he does, because of course Donald Trump doesn't actually traipse around these cities. He's either in a mansion or in a limo or in a private jet. Those are the only three places he's been for the past 50 years. But he's pretending that it's necessary. And that is, I guess, what you can do. You can launch an unprecedented federal takeover of DC without even the pretext of it being needed. It's not like crime went up 10% and he's exaggerating it. It is dramatically down, and it seems utterly irrelevant, JR, how many times people fact check that none of this is based in reality. What do you think?
It doesn't have to be. We've been saying it since forever, right? This guy is a fascist. That's who he is. They don't need rules. They don't need normalcy. They don't need reality. The whole purpose is to make something up and then go to that objective. The objective here is to send military and federalized police forces in as many cities that he needs to quell any kind of potential, because he's a coward, any kind of potential pushback. So that's why he named those cities: New York City, Baltimore, I think he said, and Oakland. But he said Baltimore because he's I cuss a lot on my hour, John. So I'm gonna try and get rid of that as I come to your show. But Baltimore, that dummy said. And the reasons why he's got to get military and federalize the police and act like there's this huge crime wave in Washington, D.C. is because he's the crime wave in Washington, D.C. He needs to be prepared for when people are finally fed up with this and they do take to the streets. Oh, be prepared for, remember all the talk about who's gonna take away your guns? Be prepared for that, because when people finally start using them, what they're gonna do is start taking away your guns. Just like everything else they've lied about, that they've said that they're all about doing, that those Democrats are about, including that distraction of the Epstein list. So one more thing about the slums that he's getting rid of. If there's slums in your country, in the city, I mean, he's from New York, lives in Florida, there's slums all over the place. Isn't that an indication of bad leadership? Isn't that an indication of the richest country in the history of the world not doing the job of being the richest country in the history of the world? If you got slums and you're gonna get rid of them, where are you gonna get rid of them to? They've already been gotten rid of, that's why they're slums. It's an indication of how crappy he is at his job. This guy could actually say, you know that crime is down in DC? In fact, it's down 26-30% since last year. It's because I'm here. He doesn't need to even say that anymore. He needs crime to be up so the criminal can walk in and act like crime is up and start cracking heads of American citizens who are doing nothing but defying him. So spitting is now going, I'm not following your lead.
You know, it'd be the most amazing thing. I almost don't even want to give him the tip. Like 6 months after this, just say, hey, violent crime's down to 30 years low. I did it. It's already true. It's the easiest thing in the world, I suppose. But yeah, no, this is just artifice. This is what it's like to live in a fascist regime. It's just constant propaganda, explicit propaganda. At one point, Donald Trump is doing this press conference. We're gonna move on to more facts in a sec. He's doing this press conference. He's got Pete Hegseth over one shoulder. He's got Jeanine Pirro over the other. It's just Fox News talking heads. That's all. This is just a TV show that they're running. They need a plot twist. The plot twist is DC's dangerous or something, I suppose.